Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my Sims 4 Covenant Legacy Challenge. This is season 2, and today we are going to go over the Odina Dynasty. Um, since the season has concluded, I feel like it's only right that we do that. And after this, we'll go over like the influence points. So the Odina Dynasty started off with Queen Orlin, of course, guys, and she had her three concubines, Joel, Soren, and Matthias. Each of them gave her a child, which was very generous of them. And of course, the firstborn child she ever had was Queen Elodie. And Queen Elodie had about four concubines. She had her first. Well, she had three concubines, one husband. Her first, I would say, consort would be her husband Victor, Prince Victor. And her second concubine was her first concubine was Cyrus, and then a second concubine she had was Thomas, but she ended up setting him aside. And Thomas, because at the time the Crescents were believed to be traitors, and they ended up giving Thomas off to Deianira as a concubine. Queen Orlin did, and then of course she had Lamont as another concubine. So Queen Elodie had in total four consorts. One of them she set aside though. And Queen Elodie had about five children. Her firstborn child was Queen Moira, who is now our reigning monarch. And she has currently two concubines. She does not have a full harem, but very much soon she will. I am hoping to record an episode right after I get done with this video. But she has her concubine Czar and her concubine Caleb. Um, One of them is a angel and another one is a vampire, given by her grandfather. And of course, she had recently, from the last episode, her daughter, the Princess Orlin Odina, born from Czar Odina himself. Then off to the side here, Queen Elodie also had her daughter, the Princess Arwen. She's gotten a nickname, the Pretender, um, but she is going to be remembered as a princess, not a queen. So she had her second born daughter, Princess Arwen. Then she had her third born daughter, Princess Hestia. As you guys can see, I have given some of them makeovers. So this is Princess Hestia Soul, guys. So in the last episode, you guys did see her last name was Val Basal, or I told you it was Val Basal, but I kind of did not like that last name. It was kind of a placeholder, but I decided to go with the last name Soul, meaning sun. That's the name of our solar system, sun. I think it makes sense considering that the witches hold the moon and the sun to a high honor. So I decided to give Hestia the last name Soul, considering she's going to be the new mother seer. She is a new mother seer, and sooner or later she's going to start having children of her own. Then we have Princess Hera Odina. So this is how she looks in her new makeover. I didn't get to show you guys last episode because I kind of forgot, but this is how our princess looks. And of course, we have our youngest child that Queen Elodie died in childbirth, from Princess Minerva. So her youngest child is Minerva, and she sadly did die in childbirth because of that. Over here, we do have our lovely Princess Artemis, who very much died prematurely through poisoned by High Lady Giselle. It was a very tragic death for our princess here. She was a princess of Sunstone, but shortly after her becoming the princess of Sunstone, she passed away, which was very sad. I do still miss Artemis very much. And then her third born child. Oh, if you guys were wondering, Elodie and Artemis, their father was Soren. So this is their father right here. I think the game will even show you. Yeah, so that is Artemis's father, Soren Odina. If it can load, it's fine. It's fine. Then we have the queen's third born child and daughter, Princess Deianira Odina, and her concubine, of course, was Thomas Crescent. And her four children, guys, are all teenagers now. She's had, of course, four kids with her concubine. She's had Prince El Odina, Princess Amelia Odina. As you guys can see, she has a bit of a makeover. And then we have, of course, Prince Hephaestus and Prince Heron. So all four of Deianira's children are much older now. Um, and Thomas is still alive, but Deianira sadly died from nobody really knows. They believe that the angels caused their death when they crash landed onto the planets, quote unquote. Um, but we all know Deianira died from her own spell. The overcharge was too great, and she ended up passing away, and it caused a great explosion in Odina Castle, which destroyed their old home. Her third born child, oh, and if you guys are wondering, Deianira is, of course, the child of Queen Orlan's first concubine, Joel Odina. So her third born child was a little boy, not so little anymore, but Prince Oren Odina. And Oren's father is Soren. It's kind of cool because his name is Oren, and then we have Orlin, and then we have Soren. So it was kind of cool that his name kind of rhymes with his father's name, but it's also kind of named. He's also kind of named after his mother. But we have Prince Oren here, and he has married High Lady Marcella Crescent, the heiress she was the heiress at the time, to the Crescent Castle and estate, to her mother's land. So now she is the High Lady of Crescent Castle, and she is currently, guys, the Lady Knight to Queen Moira, but that's probably going to soon change. We'll have to see how things go. And she had in total 6 kids, guys. 5 actually. I meant to say. She's had her son Lord Kylus, Lady Thea Crescent, Lady Robin, and Lady Helen Crescent. And she has 2 newborn children here, Maris and Maria. They're both ladies and lords. Now, usually I would give children of nobles the titles of mistresses and masters, but because Marcella had a child with a prince, they get the titles of ladies and lords, which is not common for children who are born from noble ladies. But they are royal nobles, so they get an upper hand compared to other noble children. Lady Thea right now, guys, is the heiress to her mother's lands and titles. As you guys can see, she has had a great makeover. We're going to get into that in the next episode. You're going to see why certain characters have makeovers. Certain characters definitely have makeovers. You're going to see why. Actually, guys, I had to it was so sad because Helen kind of was deleted from the world accidentally because I went inside the Crescent household not knowing there was 9 Sims in there. I thought it was 8. And Helen was deleted, and I didn't realize till later into all my makeovers. And so I had to it was too late for me to go back and try to go back to my old save files, because when I did that, it completely got rid of the whole save file. So I had to retrieve the save file that Helen was deleted out of. But I didn't want to let Helen disappear off the face of the earth. So instead of just letting her go, I decided to create her twin again. I used Robin, and I created her as a twin again, and she does look similar to Helen, from what I remember. And I gave her the same traits. I gave her the same clothing and the same hair. Very sad. This is the new Helen, but this is Helen Crescent, guys. Very, very sadly, I didn't take pictures of the younger 2 because they're infants. But as time goes on, I will update the family tree. Then moving from Oren, the queen has her youngest 2 children, Princess Hestia and Prince Amir. And Princess Hestia, she also has a makeover, guys. She looks very regal, as you guys can see. She is currently the lady hand to Queen Moira, selected by her father, the Prince Regent at the time, Prince Victor. And her concubine was Master Nolan, is Master Nolan Tarth. So he is a Tarth, and she has had 2 children, the Princess Nara and the Prince Saik Odina. They are a very beautiful family, if I might add. But this is Celestia's family. And Celestia's father is the last concubine to Queen Orlin, which is Matthias. So that is her father. And then the youngest child to Queen Orlin is Prince Amir, and he married into a great family. The Sonnets at the time, they were a very great family, but of course, Jaleesa's mother, if you guys didn't watch the first season, she did some very treasonous actions that caused a lot of turmoil within the country, and it kind of made the Sonnets fall from grace. But the marriage was not dissolved because divorce is not common in witches' cultures unless like the mother still doesn't approve of the marriage, essentially. But um, High Lady Jalisa is married to Prince Amir. And together they have had two children, Samir Suneth and Orlin Suneth. Also, we have two Orlins. I did that on purpose, guys. I know there is two Orlins, but that was common, like for a lot of people to name. Oh my God, oh my God, that was common for a lot of people to name, to have more than one person in the same family with the same name, because I right now, guys, I have two cousins named Jeremiah. But it's common for someone, and especially in the medieval days when there was like a great conqueror or a very great queen or slash king, they would have multiple people within that family named after that person. And I thought I would emulate that in this world. And so we have Princess Orlin named after her great grandmother, Queen Orlin, and we have Lady Orlin. I don't know why I didn't add the lady title to her, but Lady Orlin, named after her grandmother. But Lady Jaleesa did this. High Lady Jaleesa did this out of trying to get sympathy from Queen Orlin, because at the time, later in Queen Orlin's life, she didn't want nothing to do with the Sonnets, even the grandkids for a short time. So she tried to do everything in her power to kind of get the queen to come back around, and so she tried to she did name her daughter Orlin after Queen Orlin to kind of get favor with the queen herself. But that is the family tree of the Odina dynasty so far. So coming over here, guys, to our influence points. So Queen Elodie has passed away, and of course she passed away with a total of 22. Dionera passed away with a total of 12. Right now, our living ladies who have our living ladies who have influence points are still here and around. Arwen, oh, she's actually dead. I have to actually cross her out if I can. I low-key forgot how to do that. Oh, it's right here. But let me go ahead and cross Arwen out. But the eldest lady right now is Princess Celestia, and her claimant level is she's a first claimant. And she I'm probably gonna have to really calculate Celestia's points again, kind of rework her, because I did not calculate the nobles she might have. She might have better friends than Moira does, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and calculate that. Her rank level of witch is 2. She has a daughter, but because she had a son, it made her go down. So she has 0 points when it comes to having daughters. She was never a princess of Moonstone. She was never a princess of Sunstone. And she does have a harem technically, so she gets 1 point for that. She never married so far. And she does not have a familiar. And her father died prematurely before her mother, basically before she can get any prestige points for him. And of course, she was not at war. She was in war, but she was not at war. She wasn't the one actually orchestrating the war. This is more so for like a queen rivaling with somebody else. And if you win a war, you get 10 points for that. If you lose one, you get negative 10 points for it. And then I have another subsection here for gatherings. I am going to start implementing like tourneys, duelings more often now, because I feel like it was the lacking of that in the first 2 seasons. And I feel like in season 3, I should definitely do that now. And I'm going to make that a thing where, our noble ladies, our noble royal ladies, and our royal family can gain influence points by having gatherings. And it can also go to their dynasty points. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna do that. I have not reworked everything, guys, because I don't have a lot of time to myself. But yeah. Celestia's total is 7, so she has a total of 7 influence points, which is very very sad considering it would have probably been a great help if her father was like if her father stood alive before Orlin passed away. So as I said before, a father's influence points really doesn't matter when it does come down to the influence of others because she doesn't have none due to her father dying prematurely before Orlin. Then we have Moira. She is a claimant level of 4. She she has 3. I guess this is like rivaling with Princess Arwen. I'm gonna have to really see about this one. Her rank level is 4, so she's at a 4 witch rank. She's a very powerful witch. Well, beginning to become very powerful. She has 1 daughter, so she got 1 point of influence for that. She was never a princess of Moonstone, and she was never a princess of Sunstone, so she doesn't get any points for this. Because Moira was kind of queen prematurely, and her mother didn't name her actually princess of Sunstone or Moonstone, because she had just become queen, and she wanted time to before she named her daughter that. She does currently have a harem, so she does get 1 point for that. She's never been married. If she was married, would decrease her influence points. She does have a familiar, which does give her 1 point of influence. Her father gave her 5 total influence points, and because she has won her war, she has gained 10 influence points. She has a total of 29, so she's a very influential woman right now, very powerful. Thea right now has a 19. So at first, Thea, Helen, and Robin all had the same amount of prestige points with the queen here. But I decided to actually rework that. I felt like because of the fact, because the reason why they had so much influence was because of their father. The Odina family has a lot of influence, considering that they keep gaining influence as each queen comes in. So that's like it's kind of a cheat code to get a prince within your family. But I decided for like princes that marry outside of the royal family, their influence points will get halved whenever their mother dies and they are alive, and their daughters will get their influence points instead of giving them the full. Let's say if the Odina family had 30 influence points, instead of giving them 30 points, they'll get 15. So Robin, Helen, and Thea all had about like I think 26, and now they have 16, and now they're at 19 influence points. So the Crescent Girls are really influential. They're very influential. So you gotta watch out for them, but they don't have dangerous traits. So they, even though they're very influential, people, unless a coup is amiss, which I doubt will happen, they are not going to go against Queen Moira. And plus, Moira is more influential than her cousins. Then we have Nara, who has a total of 5. Her father's total was 2, and she also got this because her claimant level is 2. She's like a 3rd claimant as well as her other cousins, and she has a rank level of 1 as a witch. Same thing goes for Nara, Hestia, and Hera. Hera has a little bit more. Hera and Hestia have a little bit more influence points because their father's total was at 11, so they gain the total of 19 and 16. So Hestia is a little bit more influential than her sister Hera, which I think will naturally happen. Which will naturally happen because Hera is the youngest child of Queen Elodie. So she has a total of 16 compared to Hestia. So far, that is all the claimant levels. I will have to edit this more. I'm still reworking everything. I know I should have this put together for you all, but I have a very busy life, as I always stress to you guys, and I can't always be on top of these things. I have a life outside of the game, sadly. I can't always be my little world and bubble, but that is all for right now. I guess I will see you all in the next episode for season 3, the new season, I should say. Um, I'm very much excited because there's a lot of things that have changed that I've done off screen. I'm debating on if I should do a mini movie or what, but I don't think I will because that's a lot of work to do and it takes me longer to get out episodes for you guys. So I might just do like a talk over like Fantasy X does because I really love those things. I hope she doesn't mind me taking her ideas. But my name is Ronald the Simmer and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.